And we're live. Quarter Life Critics, where we review the best TV and film the world has to offer. And today, I am joined by my best friends, emphasis on the best, Grant.
Yo, what's up?
And Patrick.
Welcome.
And as you know, every week, or 2 weeks, or 3 weeks, or whenever we get around to this thing, one of us takes on a very special role of the director. You know, the director's job, their mission is to direct the episode by, leading discussions, asking questions, and most importantly, creating thought-provoking segments. And today we're starting off a new series, some would say, a trilogy perhaps, and I won't give too much away. I'm just going to introduce our first director for this series, and that is none other than Patrick. Take it away, Patrick.
Yes, thank you. So, in this age in Hollywood, directors have to have a vision. They have to plan for the long term. And that's why I chose something that, locked in a legacy for myself. Forcing, with consent, my co-pilots, their decisions on the next couple of movies. So they can craft those wonderful scripts and get our dialogues, going crazy. But, the control rests with me for a series of movies that it's very popular, but I don't believe these two actually like. So we're going to see if my suspicion is correct and dive into what's going on with The Lord of the Rings, starting with The Fellowship of the Ring. This movie is number 9 on IMDb's top 250 right now. And, we're self-proclaimed, movie critics consuming the best film the world has to offer. I'd say that's up there. So while these two jokesters may not enjoy it, the world does. And we're going to see what's cracking. So, Grant, do you want to introduce the movie?
Yeah, so a brief synopsis of this film is a meek hobbit from the Shire and 8 companions set out on a journey to destroy the powerful One Ring and save Middle-earth from the dark.
Who?
Is that a woman?
Middle-earth from the Dark Lord.
I thought you said Mary Beth. It's like a
from the
Mario
Dark
Bowser.
Lord Sauron.
Sharon.
One of those bad guys, yeah.
Sauron. The Dark Lord. Directed by Peter Jackson. It had 12 Oscar nominations with 4 wins in 2001. And it's 8.8 on IMDb with like a, 9th out of ever. So, pretty good. Allegedly.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. All right. So, this movie can kind of be a lot to get into. Were you guys confused at, any part? It's fantasy. It's kind of grander scale, so there's a lot of moving parts. Anything confusing that would get in the way of, future plot points?
I don't know if I would call it confusing. Mm-hmm. I thought this was the first film that I've watched in a while that you can just tell. I mean, I know it's a popular fantasy series, but you can just tell it was adapted from a book. I think they're just kind of navigating from, instead of kind of being based on like, I feel like dialogue or maybe plot events or maybe more traditional dramatic scenes. I think they take these like fantasy, most popular scenes in the book, throw them on the screen and see like, all right, how can we visually show off this spectacular thing that's happening? And I just thought it was, I was like, this comes from a book. It's all magical, and I thought there was less, parts on the
So
maybe
did it
other
feel more
parts.
like formulaic then? Like not very like it didn't flow as well, or
I think maybe the flow part that might have been not as flowy would be, the time it takes to do anything like
okay,
uh, traveling across Middle Earth, and how long it takes, that Evil Dead army. I mean, they just show up in the Shire, like, they're like they're coming. It's like they're here. um, what one actually fact that I read, I always like to read how different the film is from the book, and I think I read something where in the actual book, which I'm assuming you've read, Pat. I don't know how
a long time
recently, a
ago.
long time ago. The time between Gandalf leaving the ring to Frodo
Hmm.
and coming back to figure out that, oh, it's got this inscription on it, which means it's the Ring of Power, is 17 years. And the director
What?
was, they were like, we don't have time for that. So
Wow.
they do it all in one fell swoop, basically.
Yeah, I feel like they kind of like jump
So
some things together with like or like gloss over things that like you would pick up. Like how they really were emphasizing like Bilbo, you don't age, like you haven't aged a day. And
yeah,
like maybe that would have been like if there were the time gap was like more noticeable, that would have been more important.
Hmm.
yeah. Well, I agree with what you're saying, Quinn. I never really noticed it. It feels like there's way more material than the movie time, even though it's a long movie, and so there's not really a moment to breathe at all. Like it's kind of a this is probably the third watch I've done of recent of this film.
Hmm.
And it's probably the first time that I wasn't fully just like exhausted and like what is going on, this is so much, and like it was hard, hard to focus. I think once you understand what's the general plot is, you can start pick up these things. Like what you just mentioned was the first time, oh, you look like you haven't aged a day. I'm like, oh yeah, God, that okay, that's a cool line. And there's things like that where since there's so much material, I feel like it takes a lot of watches to dissect what they've
Yeah.
done. And yeah, I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I think it's definitely held up because I think it's very, very rewatchable because it's so jam packed with plot.
Yeah, and I actually
Yeah,
felt like the effects and everything held up pretty well too. Like I haven't watched it in a couple years, but I think I remember feeling it this way last time I watched it too. I was like, pleasantly surprised by like I just feel like fantasy when you incorporate monsters and kind of like non-human, orcs, goblins, all those sorts of things. It can get a little bit it can date itself quickly, and it's just they clearly put a ton of time and money into making it kind of a classic.
yeah, yeah. So and the only CGI is Gollum. Everything is just makeup, and that's why I think it's held up. So it looks really nice, and it hasn't aged a day.
Even the Balrog, he's not CGI.
I mean, that's just probably a few more CGI. I think that the troll is those like all the warriors were
Okay,
makeup.
yeah, yeah.
The Urukai.
I love those dudes.
Yeah,
They're
those
so
dudes are
scary.
beasts. Yeah. That troll, that cave troll probably was CGI. I'm thinking, but it wasn't. I mean, it's a little stiff. It almost feels like a little video game cutscene. The CGI for that did a little bit, the
Hmm.
animation, but I think it doesn't pull you out of it at all.
Hmm.
I have a plot question. Why doesn't Sauron and the undead go after Bilbo Baggins if he had this ring for 60 plus years?
I think it's like there's like you're
And he put it on.
growing in power. So Sauron was like consolidating his forces for like a big strike. So I don't think he would the
I
the cake was still cooking.
Yeah, my
Mm.
girlfriend is a very big fan. I asked her the same thing while we were watching, and her initial theory was he hasn't worn it, so he's held on it and he's touched it, but he hadn't worn it until that night, and once he wore it that night, then it alerted all of them. But I guess that doesn't make sense, Quinn, if there's 17 years after that occurrence.
Yeah, and I mean he wore it at the party. I mean
that's what I'm saying. That's what I was
That's
saying.
when
So he
it's
wore it
okay.
at the party, and then the Dark Horsemen were able to locate him.
But he kind of knew that it was going to make him invisible. It was like a party trick.
He definitely
So
knew.
he,
Yeah,
he
he's
knew-
definitely
he's put
worn
on it before.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And Gollum wore
I
it
get
all
what
the
you're
time
saying.
too.
Yeah.
And I think it's more a timing. Like Sauron's consolidating his power, and there are all sorts of like other like the forces for good. Like Gandalf the elves, they could have done some like obscuring things with Bilbo, but once it was like like they had their plan, like we gotta like destroy this thing. That's kind of like when Sauron started like going for it as well.
Yeah, from cursory glance, yeah, he wasn't ready yet.
He wasn't done cooking, bro.
Yeah, the eye wasn't big enough, you couldn't see that far.
So, and I think so. Quinn, you mentioned it's like very formulaic. I think that it's like kind of a curse of its own success, or like not formulaic, but like it just has like you can tell it's like from a book. Do you think it's because it's like an inspiration for other fantasy things that you feel that way, or you think it's like specific, like you can just tell like in this movie they're like driven by things that are like not super apparent from the movie itself?
I think it's just what you have to do when you make an adaptation like that. Think of some Harry Potter or some Lord of the Rings, where probably in the book, I mean, there's pages and pages of visual description of what's going on. It's kind of like you're going in slow-mo and you're like describing each, like Gimli then grabbed his hammer and blah 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 blah. And you could read like whole 2 pages, and then you have to put those
His
scenes in your
axe,
movie.
Quinn.
His axe, whatever. My axe. It's just a necessity of a adaptation from a book. And I don't think you're not going to add. There's always going to be more source material in the movie or in the book that you just have to pick and choose what you want.
Can I make a comment that's a little off topic about an adaptation where I think this highlights picking and choosing a little bit? Yeah. So if you guys read Aragon, I really liked that book. About the dragon growing up.
I have read. Yeah.
I think I gave up as a kid.
Yeah, well, it was literally about a dragon like growing up, like this kid with a dragon, and you see like the whole book is like the dragon like going through all this stuff, getting older, getting bigger, blah blah blah. I remember watching the movie, and you're like, it's like the beginning, he's hatched, and then he goes in the air. And then there's like a cut of him getting bigger and then bigger. And then he comes down. And I was like, what the fuck? That was the whole book. It was like 5 seconds of the dragon just getting bigger and landing. Like, you skipped all of that. Like, they did a bad job of picking and choosing. But, yeah, they...
I saw that movie and I don't remember that at all. Like, I blacked that whole movie out of my mind.
I must have been a core memory because I was felt so betrayed by that. I remember the sequence from when I watched it in the theater.
Yeah, that one didn't do as well as Lord of the Rings. It's got like a 5 on IMDb.
The dragon had feathers. It was not well received. Okay, final question in this segment for you guys.
Yes.
This is, we joked beforehand about, some D&D gameplay. This is very much the archetype of, D&D. You have a party that's drawn together. You got you got the wizard, you got the couple of halflings, the hobbits, you got the warrior, the archer, the the dwarf. You got a little bit of everything, whatever. Which character do you guys identify with?
This is a tough question. I remember playing a lot of video games or adaptations. You always you always go Legolas. You know, you got to get the
Mhm.
archer, freaking pick him off from before. I don't know if you were allowed to play as Gandalf. Now that I
Yeah,
remember,
you were.
you were okay.
Yeah. Only
I
on
don't even.
certain levels, because
At
he
certain
makes
level, maybe I didn't get that
he
far.
takes a little hiatus, takes a little
I,
snooze.
I don't know. I think the coolest characters as a kid and now were Legolas and maybe Gimli, but I remember there being like more. Maybe that's because I was playing the game and not watching the movie. Like they kind of have their moments, but they're really not that important. Um, I mean, they don't have these bigger scenes. I feel like the other two guys, Strider and Aragon, they're
That's the
more
same person.
important.
Aragorn.
Or wait, or no,
Boromir.
Boromir. Yeah, Boromir.
Okay.
They're more central to the plot of at least this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I have to go with Orlando.
Quinn, how many
Bloom.
times have you seen this movie?
Dude, when I was watching this movie, I have seen so many different parts of this film so many different times as a kid. Like I remember, I was like, oh, he's gonna go invisible at the party, and then, oh, they're gonna go into the mines. But like I could never piece it together. I totally forgot about the ending. I kind of conked out, probably younger. So
You
at
conked out
least
this
So
time.
0.
a little bit, like mentally, maybe a little bit. I was trailing off.
I
Zero
was
probably
too.
from front to back.
Yeah.
0.
Okay.
But in different ways, shapes,
a
and
ton of
forms.
ways.
A ton, yeah, a ton.
Okay. Grant, who would what's your archetype?
Yeah, I don't know. You know, like Gandalf is a fucking badass. I love Gandalf, and I think in Skyrim I was always a mage. So Gandalf or Aragorn. I think Aragorn is probably the coolest. Like now, I'm like, dude, Aragorn's the man. You know.
Yeah,
And the way
yeah.
he carries himself is just he's so he just his morals, his value system so solid, and he's so virtuous, and it all works. That you can, it's like he's like Jesus Christ, like or something.
can't
know?
root against
yeah.
him.
Yeah, you can't root against him. He's like the man, and he's just doing good, and he's unfazed by. Boromir was like, you don't know shit. You're not the rightful heir, blah, blah, blah. And Aragorn was just like, yeah, he sat there. He didn't say anything. And then he ends up like winning Boromir over just from being the dude, you know? So
Aragorn's definitely mine.
Yeah,
That was
I like
who would-
Aragorn.
You have Aragorn.
Yeah.
I have a runner up. It's Lord Elrond, aka Agent Smith.
Oh, yeah, dude.
I was like, why is Agent Smith wearing a wig?
Lord Elrond.
And he's in the start too. He's kicking some ass, taking some names.
Mr.
with the-
Anderson.
That's all I could hear. I was
Yeah.
like, I had to rewind. Oh, my last breakdown question. If we're moving on, I thought I was gonna get this answered in this movie as an adult. I don't know what the ring really does. I mean, it makes you go invisible, but everyone. I understand the cool temptation, and you're like, yeah, it's drawing me, but you don't ever see the actual power.
So I
No,
don't think it
because
really has
only
power.
Sauron
Yeah.
can
So everyone's
use the
fooled
power.
by the power.
Yeah, and it's like a fucking
Not
like,
bad.
it's like a evil like, it's casting like
leech.
a lusting spell on you to like
Yeah.
Like
take it and like bring it to him so he can like come back.
Like a
So-
succubus.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Frodo probably feels like every single time he's getting closer to Sauron, he's like, ooh,
Okay,
It gets
that makes
heavier.
sense. I
Boromir's
accept.
eyes, he's looking at the round ring.
yeah.
He's like, I could.
I do bad things for that.
Exactly. All right, cool. That was I think we broke it down, boys. I think we broke it down.
Got my questions answered. Yep.
Yeah. All right. So, Goldilocks. It's about the temperature of the soup, comfort of the bed, size of the chair, whatever. What did we think about the length of the film? I think you guys said it wasn't long enough, right?
It was. I don't think the length of any film. What was it? 3 hours?
Depends.
Did you guys watch the extended edition?
I did not. I watched the OG.
I
Sandwich was 3.5.
I think in this film there's only actually like 30 or so extra minutes. I know
Mhm.
there's some, might be more credits or some shit, but I started with the regular one, and I honestly felt I said this is moving way too quickly. Like they're like especially in the beginning, they're just jumping around, jump, 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 and then I switched about 45 minutes into the extended one, and at least that one that was giving a lot more backstory on
Mhm.
Bilbo and the Shire, and I was
They
like, all
smoke a
right,
lot more pipe weed in it too.
yeah.
Gandalf's always hitting the pipe weed.
So should I have done that? Like
You should.
the theatrical release is not that. It's the one I watched.
Correct. Yeah,
I
I don't
think
think it matters
extended
that
is
much.
It's less confusing. It's a little longer, but I think it tells a more complete
Yeah.
story.
That's fair. I thought it was long, like 3 hours. Is not. I mean, that's pretty long for a film, and I thought it was so much like plot. It was just too much material, and then 3 hours of no breaks. It was really, yeah. It was kind of exhausting. I
Definitely
think
like slows
I
it
would.
down and
Yeah, I think like an intermission. I think I paused it for 5 minutes or 10 minutes.
Pause
Yeah.
it for days.
Yeah, well, that's, I mean, yeah.
Right,
So I
right.
watched it through. Did you watch it through the whole one? Okay, guys, come on. You can't ask the Goldilocks question.
That is true. Grant,
What the
as
fuck?
a purist, you know, he
I watched
stuck to it.
the film that wasn't director's cut or extended version or whatever you.
But
and then I
it's
watched
just the
I watched
question.
all the thing. I know, but
it's kind of
right,
like a book.
The long,
Do you read the whole book in one day? No, you
it's a
just enjoy
movie,
it. You
though.
go,
It's a totally different
you
media
go,
format.
now
No,
I'm in this
no,
part of
I do
Middle
not.
Earth. Let me go to
I
bed.
think
Wake up.
that's I think that's unfair for like talking about the actual movie as a whole. It's a 3 hour movie and it's a 3.5 hour movie if it's the extended version, and it's not 3 parts of an hour each. Or on Quinn, maybe Quinn did 30 minutes.
hold
every
that
day.
thought, Grant, because we have some clips that say otherwise.
Ooh.
So, funny enough, Too Long Didn't Watch comes into play here perfectly. And we're going to determine, we each took a, roughly 30-second to a minute clip, and we're going to recreate the movie for you guys. And we're going to see how we did. So, Quinn is coming out with the initial clip. He's going to set the scene, show us
right.
what The Hobbit's about. Mine's going to come right down the middle, meat of the plot, and Grant's going to wrap it up with a finisher. And we're going to see what kind of
To
movie
give
comes out.
the listeners and the viewers also a recap of what happened, because maybe they didn't have the time this time.
It's paused, it's been paused for a couple years. They haven't made it through that middle hump. The Mines of Moria took them hostage too. All right. So let's see.
All right, I have to. While Pat's pulling up the clip, I got to get into my best. All right, Frodo's here in the beginning in the Shire. He's like,
Are you
"Why
ready?
didn't-" Yeah. Oh
Or
yeah.
should I
I thought
pause
you
it?
paused
Yeah.
it. No, you're
Yeah.
good. I'm just setting the scene.
Okay.
Where we're in the Shire, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Gandalf and Frodo, they're hanging out and they're talking about the ring. And then Frodo, at the very beginning of the scene, he says, "Nobody knows about the ring, right? Right, Gandalf?" And then play action.
Oh God.
Oh God, what's?
It ain't playing. All right, let me reshare this. Apologies, some technical difficulties.
It's all right. You can just let it run next time.
Are you going to narrate the whole thing or just?
Well,
this
there's
is a
no
precursor?
sound, so I have to.
Well, can we watch it? I think the viewers just gotta. I don't know if we're gonna talk through every single closed captioning action.
I'll hit the highlights
for our audio listeners. Yeah.
No ring. And then Gandalf says, "There may be one more who knows about the ring." And then Frodo's like, "Oh my God, they found him." It's Gollum. Gollum's like, "Ah! The Shire! Bilbo!
The Hobbitses!
Wait, actually, this is okay.
I saw the Shire. Bilbo or Baggins, that'll lead them right here. Look at them getting the green lips.
They're coming.
Oh, they're on their way. This is the more of the time skipping shit. And then he says, Gandalf, you have to take this ring. I can't take it. And Gandalf says, no, don't give me this ring. Don't tempt me. And then the scene ends.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Really quick, that's the point that you were asking. You said, why did it take them so long? It's they needed to torture Gollum to find where the ring was. That's how they got the location.
But like, why then? Why,
Because they just tortured him.
But didn't Gollum? I mean, Gollum knew about Bilbo for many years.
But they
like
couldn't find
7
Gollum. He was
years.
living in the fucking caves.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I don't.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know when they take the books accounts. I don't know. Yeah, I see what you mean. It took a while.
So they probably Sauron was finished in the
he's the
oven. And he's
snitch.
like, let's go get Gollum.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It's the OG.
Sorry,
snitch.
I didn't mean to ruin the
No,
flow
that was
of the...
no, that was.
No worries. All right,
Just
so
get ready.
immediately after that, they
The
are
middle of the film.
Yes, they are
this
trekking
is
across,
a good one.
trekking for days, years maybe, and they come to the mines of Moria, and something lurks in the depths. So they're running across this very narrow bridge. Looks very scary. My head's be very sweaty. And who's the last one to cross? No one, but Gandalf. Gandalf! Frodo says. And Balrog has a giant-ass whip. This dude's a flaming demon, very scary. But Gandalf cannot be deterred. And he says, sometime soon, staff glowing, you shall not pass. Oh, I kind of missed the timing. But
More dramatic build-up.
yeah, he says it the first time mumbling, and then the second time like he means it. It really slams the staff down. Oh, it's a pretty cool whip though. No CGI involved. Oh. There it is.
There
And the
it is,
slamma
bro.
jamma.
Yeah.
And Gandalf
That's
falls.
Yeah, that's not your clip. No, I mean, that's the end.
Yep, that's it. Nothing after that happens in the movie.
He just gets
until we
mean
get
mugged
to-
by Balrog.
Until we get to here.
All right, so you got Sam is swimming, Frodo. Sam can't swim. Oh, no.
He has a very
Sam! He goes underwater. Oh, no, Frodo is watching Samwell Wise drown. He's going deeper and deeper. Oh, no. Bloop, 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 bloop. It's getting darker. The light's fading. Sam, is this the end?
It might be.
His hand, but no, Frodo's got him, pulling him out of the depths.
Dang, Frodo's got
Pulls
some
him
long
out.
ass arms, dude. He didn't even have to get out of the boat.
All right, I think that's 30 seconds. I don't want to.
Okay. And that's the movie. We did it.
That was the film.
That's it. That's a wrap.
What'd you guys think, audience? Let
I
us
don't
know.
think they'd make a sequel.
I'd be a little confused. What happened to the ring?
What's
What
that
happened
ring?
to-
Oh yeah.
What happened to
What
everyone
happened to
else?
Gandalf?
What happened to Gandalf?
That scene was, I think that's the most epic scene in the film for sure. It was
Which
tragic. Gandalf getting fallen and then the
I thought
whip.
you said Sam getting
I mean
rescued.
that one's pretty touching. That's one of the best too. I like that one. Did you not like the ending scene?
I liked it. Honestly, I was still thinking because I've seen so many different parts and clips. I'm like, there's something with him being the Gray, and I was like, does he have a alter ego or something? I think that's in the future films. I'm just gonna not look anything up, and I'll. So I wasn't believing it. I'm too used to
Gandalf
when you
the
watch
Grey
The Walking
and Gandalf
Dead,
the White.
and Monty Python and the Holy
Yeah.
Grail's Black Knight. If you don't see him die, if he doesn't like Boromir, he's dead. I feel like, but Gandalf, he just fell. Whoa.
Yeah,
But it was a
off-screen
good
deaths
scene.
are very yeah. And he's just like this bumbling like until then he's kind of like the bumbling old guy. So it's like
Yeah.
Saruman was kind of like beating him
Whipping
up
him
and
around.
they did some like staff battles, but then like his little friend had to save him. So, it's nice to see the old man still got it.
Dude, in their
Yeah.
fight, there was no CGI at all. That was I think I'm
Just
so used to like a Marvel film where like some energy ball was gonna be shot out, but with Gandalf and the other guy's name, I don't know his name.
Saruman.
Is
Saruman.
Saruman? Yeah,
Yeah.
not to be confused.
Fuck
with
that guy.
Sauron.
That was the first. That's like the turning action or whatever. I don't know. You're like,
A little
oh,
betrayal."
this is a little bitch. He's
Yeah.
like, I love that Sauron cock in my mouth.
That's in the book, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 pages of it.
Whoa, it's an illustration.
All right. So, I said there were quite a few Oscar nominations, but only 4 Oscar wins. Using the power of friendship and your eyes from watching the movie and ears, you guys are going to pick which ones out of these categories were the winners.
Okay.
So these
Ooh.
can you guys see?
I can see. Looks good.
These are the nominations. We got Best Picture, Best Actor in a Supporting Role, Gandalf, Best Director, Peter Jackson, Best Writing, based on publicized work, Best Sets, Best Cinematography, Best Costume Design, Best Film Editing, Best Makeup, Original Score, Best Sound, and Best Visual Effects.
Damn. Are me and Grant working together?
Yeah, you guys are working together. You got
All right.
4.
We got 4.
4 of these boys. And I will give you guys 1 phone a friend. So that is, hey, I think, Best Picture might be it. What were the other movies in that category? And I'll let you guys know. It doesn't really help you that much, but, that's all I could think of for a clue.
Okay. Better than nothing.
Yeah.
All right, Quinn. I'm going with best writing, right? We agree on that one?
Where's that one? Best writing.
4th? Yeah.
4th, based on a publicized work. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if that's
Right?
I was
Or
gonna.
do you think best director? Or you think both? One or the other?
Let's go with best writing. I think it was
Best
a fan
writing.
favorite. It had a lot of iconic lines in it.
Okay.
A wizard is never late, nor is he early. Blah blah blah.
Okay.
All
You
right.
go all 4,
Can
right?
you drag it over, or we're
Nope.
spitballing? Okay.
Nope, spitballing.
I want to say best music original score. That might have been some nostalgia talking, but every time I hear them, they go in the Shire. I don't know how it goes.
Dude. And then when they go to the
Okay.
orcs, and it's like
Yeah.
Saruman's little factory, I'm like, oh god, that's scary.
All right. Well, then I think best makeup too.
Best makeup or costume design.
I know those are toughies. Is best makeup a category, or is Pat trying to get us? Best makeup?
Best make.
I think it's costume design.
I think it's
right?
costume design. I'll go with costume design.
Yeah. So music, we got writing, costume design, and music.
So
the last
it's
one?
not. It's not best picture. I don't think it won
No,
best
I don't think it
picture.
won. It could be. I think it's director.
Let me read these other ones. Best sets. I don't think there are. I think it was known for not having a lot of. I mean, a set. It was all real life. So
Also, I don't think
that count
that's
as a
an.
set?
You won the Oscar for best sets.
yeah, that's a Pat troll. That's true. Best set.
The best sets. No, it's plural. You won the Oscar for
So
best
the real,
sets.
so these are all nominees. They all are all the
Really?
nominees. I just shortened it. It's best art direction, set decoration.
Oh.
So
Okay.
they're all real.
sets.
Makeup is a real one too.
Oh, okay.
So it was nominated
These
for all
are real
of these things.
nominations.
I
What
just
about
might have
best
shortened
effects
it.
visual?
No, I don't think that it was known for the visuals. I think I'd go makeup over that.
Balrog looked pretty cool.
Okay, we could. So you costume design, FX, director, writing.
No, we said best music.
Oh,
Best music, best writing. I want to do the call the friend. What on the director? What'd you say, Grant?
yeah, we gotta call. I think
Best director. Who else was? Because that's the one I'm a little.
All right, do you guys want the movies or the writers? Ooh, I could give you the writers. No, I'll give you the movies. All right. Beautiful
Green.
Mind, Gosford Park, Moulin Rouge, In the Bedroom.
Beautiful Mind, I think, won Best Picture. And probably whoever, I forgot, who's that in it? Shit, but whatever, he won Best
Russell,
Actor.
whatever his name is.
Russell Crowe?
He was the main, though.
Yeah,
this
this
is
is Best Actor in
supporting.
Supporting Role. This one's tough, man. There's only 4?
4 wins,
winners.
11 nominations.
I think
I
Best
don't-
Actor in Support. Wait, you said director? Fuck. Oh my god.
I don't think it's director. I think he's gonna win. Like I think they give it to him on the second or third movie. You know, the
Yeah,
first
I think
one.
Best Actor Gandalf.
I'm
Really?
pretty sure the third movie won all the Oscars that,
Yeah,
like, I think it won, like, 13 or
Writing.
something.
yeah.
I'm willing to
So-
give up one of these other ones. So I'm thinking Best Actor Gandalf, Best Writing, Best Music, and something else.
Costume design.
In costume design.
So get rid of visual effects. I had you guys at visual effects before.
Yeah,
no.
I think
get
you
rid of
can
visual
drop that
effects.
one.
I don't really love the best actor, but we'll go with it.
All right, so I got you guys down as writing,
Mm-hmm.
music, costume
Yeah.
design, best supporting actor.
Final
Locked
answer.
in?
I'm locked
Locked in.
in. Dun, da, da, da.
Dun, 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 dun.
Cinematography,
Oh
makeup,
my god.
music,
We got
visual
one.
effects. You guys got the music or music.
It
Did
wasn't
makeup
costume design.
and
I said
effects?
makeup. Fuck.
And I said effects too. Fuck.
Cinematography, I didn't expect.
We got
Shit was
music.
beautiful, Grant.
I was confused with best
Best
sets. It's throwing me off.
All right, guys. Did you want me to put? It was like 8 words.
Were these all
You
so these were all
these are not-
nominations at least.
Yeah,
That's what he said.
So I thought he might have just like picked a like Gandalf
He,
won the
he
best.
clarified himself after we said
Sorry,
best
I was locked in.
I'm trying to make it pretty clear.
sets. With the nominations above it.
Yeah. I will work on my clarity. I could do better. I'm sorry.
This is good though. I like this.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Damn.
So
We worked together for once, Grant.
and you did horrible. You guys gotta keep each other at it. You know, competition, not cooperation. All right. So just one more for you guys. Good old over under. Patented. This is sitting pretty high, 8.8 with nearly 2 million votes. Number 9. What do you guys think?
8.8. 8.8. That's so high, man. Would I give
That's
this a
really high.
9 or an 8.9
Or higher.
or higher? I think I'm going to go with an under. I think I liked it more than Pat alluded to at the beginning of this episode. I enjoyed the ride. I just turned my brain into this is fantasy. Look at how cool that looks. Look at how sweet that is. And I think it was an enjoyable watch. That magic may fade on next film we may watch, but we'll see. So I'm under.
I'll go under, but I'm getting there. I think this is really like it ages like a fine wine, but in terms of rewatches, I think you need to rewatch this a lot. I think it's getting better every single time I watch it. So I'm definitely more already involved in the stakes than I have been in my other watches. So I'm excited to continue the story, and I think the second one has been my favorite. So
You should watch the extended edition for the second one this time.
should I? Feel like that's dirt. It's dirty for. I don't know.
What?
It's not. It's not pure. It's not the pure, but the theatrical release. You know.
They shot the scenes.
It's
At
like
some
the
point, it was
director's
pure.
edition, yeah.
I don't know if it's director's edition, but
No, I think there's another one. Director's edition. We could do the. Actually, I think
I don't
my
know why.
girlfriend owns them, and I do not think the ones she owns are extended.
On DVD,
I'll talk to her.
They're on HBO Max.
iTunes.
on
are they?
iTunes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they're on HBO
Extended
Max.
and normal.
Or,
So you could.
Pat, you mean Max? Max?
When
Let's
I go
be-
type into their URL, it takes me to HBO Max. So they're still working on that web design. thing.
Web design. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they do go up. Like this one might have 40 or 45 minutes of extra material to get your
My juice is
rocks
flowing.
off. Yeah, one of those.
All right, so I'll go under for this one. Under 8.8.
I'm
Unfortunately.
gonna go over. I love.
Wow.
I've seen this so many times. Love fantasy. It's the. It's
One
what
of your
Game of Thrones
favorite
is trying to be.
adaptations? You read
Yeah.
and watch a lot? Okay.
Yeah. Usually things aren't. Usually fantasy isn't adapted very frequently. It's expensive. Usually doesn't have a great audience, base to pull from, and it's hard to get people who are not usually into fantasy to try something outside of their normal, what they prefer, sitcom or just normal stuff.
Did you know there's a new Lord of the Rings movie coming out?
Well, based
is
off
it the
of-
Sima, whatever it is.
The War of the Rohirrim in
Did not know.
2024, but it'll be animated. So,
Well, based off of how the series went, I don't know if we can look forward to that.
I don't know.
I
yet.
don't think there were not rave reviews for the new television series.
I didn't watch it.
Oh, I think
I-
this is unrelated. I mean, well, they're all related, but
It's the same, canon material.
same universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just seems like a cash grab. I don't know. Doesn't feel particularly inspired, but maybe.
Yeah, and to touch, because at the same time that was going on, House of Dragon started up, and I thought House of Dragon, at least they're trying. Like, I feel like they're in a way better place because they're trying to fix a legacy that was destroyed by Game of Thrones' last few seasons. While The Lord of the Rings is it's so highly upheld that I think just stay away from it. Stop. Don't fucking touch it. Stay away from it. You're not going, like...
But they have the rights and they can do whatever they want, Grant. They
Yeah.
bought those rights.
Should they? They shouldn't.
Doesn't make me money.
Yeah, I'd take a big shit on a
Did you
beloved
watch the whole
franchise
thing?
for a couple bucks.
Grant,
Watch the whole
the
thing.
Amazon series.
I didn't watch any
Oh,
of it.
okay. All right. I haven't watched.
I
it
didn't
either.
watch any of it either.
Maybe we'll get to it. Who knows?
So, next week, what are we doing, Mr. Director Man?
Quinn, you
Oh.
are going to be the next director.
Oh, me? This guy?
Yeah, this guy.
All right. Next week, next time on Quarter Life Critics, we are going to continue our series, our first trilogy here. So I believe that would be the Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers, or Two Towers. I don't know how many thes are in
The
the
Two
in
Towers,
the
I
titles.
think. It's the Fellowship of the Ring, so I think it's the Two Towers.
Yep, the Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers, released in 2002, which
Just a year later.
features a lot of the same people, and we continue on this quest of saving Middle Earth. So
From
that's-
Sharon.
And if
From
you guys
Sharon.
want to start from this film, remember we did a summary in this episode of 1:30. You watch that, I think you'll be good to
You'll be
go.
ready and
Just
be
hop
prepped.
in the next film. You should be okay.
Yeah.
Be
No
all
need
set.
for the extended edition. We got you TL'd and TLD.
You might be thinking like, oh, there was no sound in that one. Dialogue. No. Just listen to our show and you line it up, and we did the voices. That's what we did. Gandalf! No!
Every scene we picked was like,
Frodo.
the
That
whole
Frodo
movie, Frodo's just
whining.
like,
Yeah. That was a good impression. Yeah, it looks so sad.
yeah.
So that's all I got. Next week, the Two Towers. Grant.
All right. Thank you all for listening, watching. We always enjoy doing this for you guys. So we will see you guys next time. Quarter Life Critics with a continuation of our first director series with Quinn walking us through The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. Until then, thank you all and peace.
Peace.
Peace.